Hey there, y'all, and welcome to Southern Slapshot, the podcast where we're slapping pucks and sipping tea, one game at a time. I'm your host, Nick Scorsom, bringing you all the hits, chirps, and chaos from the SPHL, with a special eye on our rowdy crew down here in Macon, the one and only Mayhem. So whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or throwing hats on the ice, grab a seat and settle in, because this here is hockey, the Southern way. This is episode 3. We're going to call it Deja Vu at the beach. This week we cover the Mayhem's lone game, take a quick look around the league and where the team stacks up, and then finally we welcome special guest Danny Shay to the podcast. All right, so Macon had just the single game this Halloween weekend, another trip down to Pensacola. It was their second time down there already this season. Ice Fires came into the game sitting at 3-1 after picking up a win over Birmingham on Thursday, while Macon came in at 1-1-0-1. That one shootout loss, remember, coming against Pensacola to start the year. The team hit the road early Saturday morning for that long haul, over 6 hours on the bus, and you know how that goes. Kind of ride will make anyone a little restless by the time you finally roll into town. I really do feel for these guys having to travel on game day, 6 hours there, hard fought game, and then 6 hours back. Getting into the crease, Bailey Birkin got the start in net for the Mayhem, while Rico DiMatteo took the crease for Pensacola. Both teams came out firing early, trading chances in the first, but both goalies were dialed in. Birkin once again looking every bit like one of the top goalies in the league. Things got a little bit spicy after a big hit near center ice. Mac Messier dropped the gloves with Jarosik right there on the logo and came out on top. Messier's been bringing that physical edge this team's been needing this year, and honestly, it is a breath of fresh air after last season and not being as physical. Second period is when action really started picking up. Pensacola took back-to-back penalties. Sicarino for slashing, and a Romatario for the delay of game. Macon made them pay. Connor Witherspoon kept his hot streak going, finding the back of the net for the third straight game. About 8 minutes later, Dawson Sicarino got his revenge, picking up his first SPHL goal, beating Birkin glove side to tie things up at 1. Birkin locked it down after that, and after coming up with a couple massive saves, he kept it tied heading into the third. In the final frame, Macon poured it on, man. 13 shots on goal, but just couldn't crack DiMatteo. Guy's been absolutely unreal to start his pro career. So we had to head into overtime, both goalies standing tall and putting on a show. And again, I'm happy for the free point. Macon really controlled that extra frame. A handful of solid looks, but once again, just coming up short. And it's what's starting to feel like the new normal for this team after not really doing it last year. We went to shootouts. And man, I'm calling them the cardiac kids. I know everyone has heard that before, but these guys have had my blood pressure through the roof 3 times this year. Right? Justin Thompson gives Macon the edge in round 2. Pensacola answered in the 4th round with a goal from Tyler Burney. And then just like Deja Vu, flashback to the first game of the season, Lucas Jarosik sealed it in round 5. Same story, different night. Mayhem headed home with just a single point. So, 4 points through 4 games. Not a bad start. Definitely room to improve. Honestly, both of the games against Pensacola felt very winnable to me. Efforts there, but the puck just didn't seem to bounce our way. And to be fair, Pensacola is a tough opponent. Their only loss in 5 games now is against Huntsville. Now, we played Huntsville a little bit closer than they did, but they're still one of the top teams in the league. To start anyways. We're going to see them 8 more times this season, so there's plenty of chances to flip the script. And if we want to at least split that season series, we need to start capitalizing when we get the chances. Now let's get into my 3 stars of the week. And I know I'm not trying to sound like a broken record, guys. I promise you. But the following guys are just on another level right now. First star, who would have guessed it? Bailey Birkin. Guy's been absolutely unreal, stopping 36 of 37 shots and only took the shootout loss, right? 972 save percentage in the game. On the season, he's sitting at 1.54 goals against average and a 956 save percentage. Second in the league in both categories, right behind Jack Bostic out in Peoria. Birkin looks like a completely different goalie compared to last year, and if he keeps playing like this, we should win a lot of hockey games. My second star goes to Connor Witherspoon. Spooner had the team's only goal in the game and extended his goal streak to 3 straight. Even without a bar on that line, I was expecting a drop off, but no, they kept the same energy, same production. Power play goal came from doing the little things right, crashing the net, staying on rebounds. And until some of the other offensive firepower starts clicking, Witherspoon's going to help keep us right in the mix. My third star, he's earning his first star of the season, Michael Krapinski. One of our big Texas boys on the blue line. Krapinski's going to bring that size and grit the defense needs. He's not going to light up the score sheet, especially since the SPHL doesn't even track hits or blocks. Shots blocked, of course. But that's exactly where this guy shines. 2 big shot blocks in the third, physical play all night. He's the kind of player that's going to help stabilize this D-core that's still finding its rhythm with new signings and a couple injuries. So yeah, another tough loss, but plenty of positives to build on. The compete's there, the goaltending's there. A few more bounces to go our way and figure out our offense a little bit more. And I say we're doing good. Macon's stacking up pretty well so far, and you can tell the team's getting more disciplined than we started off the season. All right, we dropped down to 4th in penalty minutes with 92 on the year. Last year, bottom of the league, lowest penalty minutes all year long. But that's going to be the trade-off with being a more physical team. And I'm okay with that because our penalty kill is doing decent. Penalty kills work in progress. 3 on 12, sitting around 75%. So 7th in the league, but it's not like we're doing terrible on it. And then on the other side, our power play is doing a lot better than I thought. 3 goals on 13 chances put the team just over 23%, good for 4th in the league. We're working it. Defensively, though, you cannot complain about this team. 10 goals against so far. We're tied for 2nd in the league in fewest goals allowed. Flip side of that coin, we've only scored 8 goals, which ties us for last offensively. So yeah, defense is definitely dialed in. Goaltending's been elite. Even against Huntsville, we kept them to 3 goals, which is impressive. Now we need to start finding the back of the net. Looking ahead, Mayhem are going to be heading up to Fayetteville this weekend for 2 big ones against the Marksmen. Both teams are kind of in the same boat. Strong goaltending, solid structure, solid defense, but still figuring out how to finish plays. If our power play can keep rolling, Macon's got a real shot to come out on top. And even a split on the weekend, taking 2 points would help, but man, getting that sweep to start and getting all 4 points, that's how these guys are going to build some solid momentum early in the season. All right, let's take a step back, take a look around the league, and recap this week in the SPHL. And things got started really early with some weekday hockey. We kicked it off up in Evansville, where the Thunderbolts hosted Huntsville for a rare morning puck drop at the Ford Center. Connor Fries got the havoc rolling with his first goal of the season, but Curtin tied it up late in the first. Then Huntsville did what Huntsville does. They completely took over in the second period. The Havoc scored 3 unanswered as discipline kind of fell apart for both sides. 8 penalties in that frame alone, and by the end of the second, Huntsville was up 4-2. They didn't slow down either. They added 2 more in the third to skate away with a 6-2 win. Thursday night gives us another midweek matchup. Pensacola headed up the road to Birmingham. Rico DiMatteo got the start again and absolutely stole the show, stopping 43 shots to lead the Ice Flyers to a 4-2 win. Scoreless through the first, then Birmingham jumped out to a 2-0 lead midway through the second. Pensacola flipped a switch and scored 3 straight, including a power play goal on their only man advantage of the night. And then in the third, the Bulls peppered DiMatteo with 21 shots on goal. Guys, 21 shots on goal in a single period. And this kid turned aside every single one. Blake Wells finished it off with an empty netter, and Pensacola went home with 2 solid points. Friday night had a pair of Halloween games. Roanoke traveled down to Knoxville, where Austin Rodebush and Steven Mundinger went toe-to-toe in a defensive battle. It was scoreless through 2, plenty of chances both ways, but finally late in the third, the Ice Bears broke through, and Tyler Williams put it on ice with an empty netter for the second of his game. Mundinger finished with a 38-save shutout, a big bounce-back performance after a rough start to this season. Over in Evansville, the Thunderbolts hosted Peoria. Evansville struck first in the opening period and doubled up early in the second on the power play. Peoria answered less than a minute later, and that's as close as they get. Both teams struggled with the special teams, a combined 1 for 11 on the power play for the night. I don't care what level we're playing, that's not going to do it. And despite Jack Bostett's 39 saves, Peoria fell short. Saturday brought a full slate of games across the league. Fayetteville hosted Roanoke in what might have been the quietest offensive game of the week, and maybe of the year. Only 24 shots in the game for the Marksmen, 17 for the Rail Yard Dogs. Again, remember, Thursday night, Birmingham had 21 shots in a period. Fayetteville got 24 in a game. Roanoke only got 17. They combined for just 6 shots total in the second period, and somehow 2 of those 6 went in. Widmore scored for Roanoke, Tim Kent answered for Fayetteville, and then Blake Holmes buried the game winner in the third as the Marksmen won 2-1. Another game where special teams was very rough. They went a combined 0 for 11 on the power play, and Fayetteville's still looking for their first power play goal of the year. Guys, they're 0 for 21 this year. Second most chances in the league and still no luck. On top of that, they've given up 4 goals on 14 penalty kills. That puts them third worst in the league. And somehow, these guys are still 2-1-2. But man, they got to figure out special teams if they want to make a run in the playoffs. Down in Birmingham, the Bulls hosted Knoxville. Birmingham led 2-1 after the first, and it felt like it was going to be a good one for them. And then the Ice Bears flipped the script and poured it on, scoring twice in the second and twice more in the third to make it 5-2. Birmingham's still searching for their first win, right? Just 2 points on the year from very early shootout losses. It's not panic time yet for these guys, but they need to start picking up some wins and stringing them together before that gap in the standings grows too much. And we'll cover that in just a little bit. Evansville and Peoria met again to close out their weekend set, but the Thunderbolts weren't about to let the Rivermen bounce back after a close Friday night game. Evansville took a 3-0 lead through 2 periods, added a power play tally on that 3-0 lead, and forced Peoria to pull Latinovic, another good goalie, but Bossett came in relief and helped to seal it. Right? He came in, he does what he does. He's the top goalie in the league right now. Michael McChesney got Peoria's lone goal in the third before Jordan Simoneau sealed it with an empty netter. Bolts finished the weekend sweep 4-1. Huntsville stayed hot with another win, this time over Quad City 2-1. Austin Algier added his 6th goal and 4th assist of the year to keep the Havoc's unbeaten streak alive heading into Sunday. Right? Saturday night, I want to say that's 4 or 5 games in on the season for Huntsville. And guys got 10 points. He is on an absolute tear. But talking about Sunday, we had our first Sunday games of the year. Fayetteville and Roanoke went at it again. Pretty quiet through the first, but the Marksmen jumped to a 2-1 lead in the second before Matt Dorsey tied it midway through the third. In overtime, McCory took a hooking penalty on the marksman, and with just 21 seconds left on the man advantage, Roanoke made them pay, and they took the win. And wrapping up the weekend, Quad City hosted Huntsville for another rematch. No scoring in the first, but the second period was absolute chaos. The teams traded goals back and forth. Leaf Matson opened up scoring for the Storm. Huntsville answered back-to-back, 2-1, and then Matt Meyer scored twice in 2 minutes to give Quad City the edge. Huntsville tied it late, but Storm came out flying in the third, adding 2 more to go up 5-3. Havoc tried to rally, they got one back, but Matson buried an empty netter to seal it. Quad City handed Huntsville their first loss of the season. I think it was 6-4. So a pretty busy week around the league, but after all that, how do the standings shake out? Let's talk about it. Huntsville's sitting on top right now with 10 points through 6 games. Evansville, Pensacola right behind them, tied for second with 8 points each. Pensie's done it in 5 games. Evansville's played 6. Pensacola's got that game in hand, so I would kind of give the edge to them. Then we got Peoria, Knoxville, and Fayetteville, all tied up at 6 points apiece, each playing 5 games. Middle of the pack right there, completely wide open. Roanoke, Quad City, and Macon are tied for 7th with 4 points each. But here's the key. Roanoke's got 6 games, Quad City's got 5, and our Mayhem boys have only played 4 games so far. Right? So we got a good shot to climb this weekend if we capitalize. And sitting down in 10th, Birmingham. Oh, so lonely. Just 2 points in 5 games. Still winless so far, but it's early. They've been in these games. It's not like they're getting consistently blown out or not performing. They just haven't been able to close it out. There's still plenty of season left, but like I said, they need to start turning things around soon if they want to stay in the hunt.
Kick it off. Same thing I did with Graham last week. What's your title? What do you do? How'd you get into it?
Yeah, so my name's Danny Shay. I'm the game presentation and operations coordinator for the Mayhem. I've been working in hockey ever since I graduated from High Point in 2023, originally with the New York Islanders, now here with the Mayhem of the SPHL. And not your traditional path getting here. I went to school to become a broadcaster, play-by-play broadcaster. I broadcasted a bunch of different sports in college on ESPN Plus and on YouTube and a bunch of places, and I always thought for sure that's what I was going to end up doing. But then I got a game presentation internship with the Islanders right out of school, and yeah, I fell in love with it, and here I am in Macon.
Let's get that out. Right. So Graham kind of had, the whole broadcast play starting in high school, his whole time at High Point, right? One, what drove you to want to do broadcast or be on this side of hockey? And 2, how did you get an internship with the Islanders? That's crazy.
Good question. I don't know the answer to it, honestly, because it's kind of absurd. But I'm from New York, obviously.
Yep.
I love to talk, you know that.
Yeah.
So literally ever since I was a kid, like whenever I would play video games, I'd have the broadcasters off. I'd be calling the games myself. Then I've just grown, eat, sleep, breathe sports. So it's always been in my DNA. It's always been something that I love to do. And I love to talk and tell stories, right? And now I kind of do that behind the scenes more so than on camera or into a microphone. And I'm sure we'll get into that. But I've always loved to just talk and talk sports. So it was always something I had a passion for. I had a radio show in high school on Long Island radio. From there, I went to High Point, like I mentioned, did a bunch of stuff there. I interned at a bunch of different TV stations throughout my time. And and then I got the Islander thing. Like I said, don't know how that happened. It's my childhood team growing up. So that in and of itself was awesome, but it was something that I had never done before, which is even cooler because I got to learn this side of game production. And here I am now.
Okay. You said you had a radio show in high school.
Yeah, I did.
Explain that.
I did. So, my school district on Long Island is huge. It covered a ton of towns. And it was really cool that they had their own radio station for students to take a class and learn the art of radio and learn how to broadcast. And now it's evolved into something so much more where they like call games and stuff now, which is something I wish I got to do in high school. But yeah, no, an hour talk show once a week with two of my buddies. And we just talked sports for an hour,
man.
and it was called Student Speak Sports. And yeah, that was my introduction to it. Loved it, and yeah, and it somehow got me to where I'm sitting right now, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
That's awesome. Okay, so bringing it back to the Mayhem.
Yeah.
Typical game day for you. From the moment you walk in the building to that final buzzer, right? Give me a rundown. Right, what time you get in, all that.
Yeah,
like, I saw your story. You got in there pretty early for opening night.
So a lot of the front office will get in for a 6 o'clock game, say closer to like 9:30, 10 o'clock, right? Because we're there till midnight, sometimes later. But I like to get there really early because on game days, let's be honest, I have a little bit more to do when it comes than everybody else, and that's not a knock on everybody in the office, but no, I like to get there really early, and that was something I started doing with the Islanders. I would always be first person in the building on game days, typically one of the last people out. So that's the same mentality I wanted to bring here to Macon. Obviously in a much more elevated role here, but so game day usually at the arena between 7 and 8 in the morning, regardless of when the game is, right?
Yeah.
It could be unless it's like a 12 o'clock game, 2 o'clock game, something like that. I'm probably there
earlier
games. I'm probably there at like 4 in the morning. So we're there. I'm printing scripts. So all of our run of shows, game scripts, all that kind of stuff. Make sure everybody has what they need to be successful on game day is kind of my job, right? So making sure our media has credentials to get into the building. That's part of my operations side as well. Making sure all of our game day staff has their credentials to get in, making sure security has everything they need, making sure the building knows what we need from them on a game day. And it's done well in advance, but making sure everything's there ready to go. And then, like I said, it's printing scripts. It's making sure everybody has what they need to be successful that night. So whether that's for our camera operators, their shot lists of things that I want them to shoot throughout the night that'll go up on the video board. Our host script, our PA scripts, rosters for everybody to be able to find players on the ice. And it's just so many little things that go into it, testing all the content that's going to be on the board throughout the night. And even like for opening night, I'm sure all the Mayhem fans listening to this will remember this. During the second intermission, we had Sarah dance along the Pink Pony Club a little bit. We thought of that at 11 o'clock in the morning on game day. So that was a last second addition because we were so far prepared in advance for this game that we're just shooting ideas off each other. And we're like, oh my God, like we have these little pink poodles in our possession. Like,
from last year's trip. Awesome.
Let's create a moment. Let's do something with this. And we thought of that, and it was probably my favorite moment of the entire night. But it's being able to be available, and the planning never stops. So literally day of, we're coming up with new ideas. So typical game day for me is a lot, and I know I just gave you a lot of information right there, but and that's not even everything. Like there's so much more that goes into it. Our rehearsals, our sound checks, all that, and then once we get to game time, we're going. So obviously everyone in Macon, so we were able to do opening night, and excited to see how this thing gets better and better throughout the year.
Okay, so you mentioned something that Graham brought up a lot during last week's interview, right? Making a moment.
Yeah.
Okay. One, that term, I love it because it really is like as a fan, everything is based off of those specific moments that we as fans are always going to remember.
Absolutely.
Right. Is there in your time doing this, not just with Mayhem, honestly, you've only got one game under your belt,
of course.
right? But at your entire career, internship, college, all that, is there one moment that stands out for you that like you helped make for someone else?
Yeah, so maybe not one specific one, but I know during our Islander games last year, and the year before too, one thing that we like to do is during our kiss cams, every night we always like to have a skit for it, right? So thing from ownership, they love the kiss cam and Islander games. So our objective from ownership was to do the kiss cam every night, but create a moment for each kiss cam and make it different each time, right? So whether that be someone doing maybe like a gender reveal during it, or we have our mascot come down and pie someone in the face who's like an opposing fan, or like we have our mascot come and like take somebody's girl away from their boyfriend. We put raw couples up on the kiss cam, right? Like creating those little moments during the game, people laugh, people enjoy it, right? But then you see like some of these moments on social media, right? Like a fake proposal at an eye on the game. Guy goes down on a knee. People think they're the proposal. Guy's tying his shoe, and that's the we go tied on. Like it's those little things that people love so much and go so viral on social media. And that was something that I talked about with our current ownership with a lot before I got here, right? Is that I love to create moments for the fan, and that's why I really love what I do for a living, right? Like I said, I wanted to be a broadcaster. I wanted to call games. That was always my passion, always my dream, right? But getting to do this now and knowing that you're a small part of why someone will remember a game for the rest of their life, it's so rewarding in a way that it's a big philosophy of what we want to do here this year and beyond, and just help continue the growth of this team, right? Because second year under the new ownership, a lot of excitement surrounding the team, right? We just want to. This thing is a rocket ship that's just going. We want to watch it go as far as it possibly can. So creating those moments is definitely a big piece of it, and why I love doing what I do.
Okay. So it really is awesome, right? Seeing you come in, or we had Madison who kind of ran game day operations last year. And from a fan perspective, my first year being a season ticket holder, she did an awesome job, right? She was awesome. But it felt like she was wearing a lot of hats throughout the year, so maybe she didn't get as much focus on it. And then at the same time, you're bringing in the highest tier of professional hockey level knowledge to us in the small town of Macon to kind of get it going. How are you going to balance, or like how are you balancing teams' needs, right, with the fan-facing entertainment, but also making sure that that production quality is staying up, right? Because I'm pretty sure like your side kind of feeds into Flow board, right?
So we have one camera. We have one main game camera that goes into Flow. But I have access to it as well. So if we need stuff, like if I want a good camera shot of something, that's our highest quality camera. So like you guys may see it on the broadcast if you're watching from home, but like if you do see something random happening during warm-ups or during a TV timeout or an intermission or something, like that's coming from us, right? That's what we're doing. But you bring up Madison, and Madison did do a fantastic job with this team, right? She left me in such a great place to be able to come in and be able to do great work right away. And she technically had 4 jobs. As one person.
It was insane.
They split Madison's role into 2 separate jobs, and I'm just one of the 2 jobs now. So Madison was a rock star here, and I've heard so many great things. I wish I had the chance to work with her because I've just heard amazing things about what she was able to do. But like you mentioned, she wore a lot of hats. She technically had 4 jobs. So to be able to come in here though and have ownership give me the ability to just solely focus on all the game day stuff, and I know that includes the operation side of it too, but to be able to come in and solely focus on game production, I think will just help what Madison was able to already grow here, and just like I kind of mentioned, continue to grow it even more and make it such a fun game day experience for the fans. So
So there's obviously, I guess it doesn't seem like when we're watching the game, right? When I go back and watch broadcasts, but how closely are you working with players and the coaches, timing, logistics, stuff like that? When I was down in Pensacola this weekend, right? Got to have that media pass, was down in the tunnel with the guys every time before they came on and off, and I could hear on their little headsets from whoever runs their game day operations down to, they call it the flight deck crew, right, as their crew, right, down to the flight deck crew that was in front of the team, and like she would relay it to Bailey Birkin, our goalie. He was leading the charge each time, and be like, hey, at this time you guys hit the ice, right? How heavy do you guys rely on timing and logistics, any of that stuff pre-planned with the team, or did they just kind of know because it's a home game?
So we always have a timing sheet that we'll put on each team's locker rooms.
Okay.
So it'll give them the specific time of day of when to come out onto the ice, things like that. But then also the clock time as well. So like obviously for a 6 o'clock game, we're gonna want them on the ice by probably coming out right around 6 o'clock because technically the puck drop would be at like 6:07.
So 6:07.
Yeah.
Warm ups 25 minutes before puck drop or something.
So they'll have a timing sheet. They'll have all that information, but Graham is our direct liaison to the team. So anything that we need the team to know beforehand, I'm always in touch with him to make sure that Dave knows. Dave will always relay the message to the team. Tucker's been a big help with that too this year. But especially like opening night, for example, when we're introducing the team one by one, and everybody's getting their moment to skate out onto the ice, right? There's a lot of communication that happens beforehand to make sure the players are where they need to be at the right time in the order we want to introduce them in. So it's just a lot of communication. That's this whole job really is about communication, making sure I'm communicating clearly to the floor, to our camera operators, to our front office staff, to our game day staff, literally everybody. Because this is one big operation that everyone has a hand in, right? Like, yes, I'm the one who I guess is planning it, but it doesn't happen without everybody's involvement. So really good communication throughout an entire game night, not just with the team, but with everybody is huge.
So you kind of talk about that, right? It takes a lot of teamwork, to make this happen.
Yeah.
Any specific moments? I'm trying to find my question over here.
You're good.
Right. Any behind the scenes stories where teamwork like really saved the day? Whether again, you've only got the one game in Macon so far, but from your time so far here in Macon, even if it's like behind the scenes for media day, stuff like that, to your time in college and with the Islanders.
Yeah. God, there's so many. Because this whole job, like I just said, is really communication, right? Like I'm show calling, so technically I'm communicating with everyone the entire time, right? Like I'm telling our PA announcer when to make a read. So there's communication right there. I'm communicating with our floor manager. Hey, do we have our contestants ready to go for this contest that's going to happen right at the start of the intermission? Yes. I'm not going to say there's one specific moment where the teamwork saved the day because this job doesn't happen without teamwork. So literally everything you see during a game day happens because of teamwork. We have our game day staff going to get contestants when doors open for our intermission contest. We have our floor manager making sure we have everyone in place for ceremonial puck drops, right? We have other game day staff with our performance groups who are going to do God Bless America and the national anthem, right? Like this doesn't happen without teamwork as a whole. So I'm not going to say there's one specific moment that necessarily saved the day because there would be no day without it to begin with.
Obviously we going back, we talked about making moments.
Okay.
Right? And it feels like you said it. It feels like that's kind of the ownership and like the top level of our organization and Fayetteville's too, right? Of make a moment for a fan, right?
Yeah,
you make a moment, and if that moment is as big of an impact as we hope it is, you make a fan for life.
100%.
My favorite moments have been almost always based around promotion nights, specialty nights, whether it's the specialty jerseys. Mine and Nicole's first game was Jurassic Night.
Yeah.
Right. A couple of years ago. Those jerseys are awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. I rocked it this weekend down in Pensacola. Having never been to a Macon game before, like a Macon Mayhem game. I went to a Tracks game and a Whoopie game when I was younger.
Yeah.
A couple Ice Flyer games when I was stationed down in Pensacola, but like never been as involved in hockey as I am now.
Yeah.
It's continuing to grow.
Yep.
And walking away with that night with 3 game worn jerseys
that's pretty cool.
Stupid. It's pretty cool, right? But just the interaction with the players, right? We met Goldowski, great guy. I love that he's still here.
Yep.
One of Nicole's favorite players. He's with Evansville now, Derek Contessa, and then Anthony Hora, who I think is up in the ECHL now. I think last I saw he was like with the Railers or something. I could be wrong. But is there any promotions or specialty jerseys without giving too much away, right?
Without telling
us
on the spot here.
Any promotion nights or specialty jerseys that you, and we'll do this 2 parts.
Yeah.
One from the game day operation side, like what you get to do with broadcast and everything, and then just as a fan that you're looking forward to?
So, oh God. So broadcast specifically or the in-game stuff. I'm really excited for Disney night,
Okay.
and this isn't me like trying to like tip off that something like crazy is gonna happen or anything, because I'm still in the planning process of that game, but I'm just a big Disney guy. Like, I love Disney. I've been going to Disney World since I was a little kid with my family. Like, this is like, and I'm not a Disney adult. Let me just preface first by saying that. Um, but um, but I'm excited for with all the creative ideas we have around the office. That's been a very popular night for us. So I'm excited to see what we're gonna come up with there for the in arena stuff. But as a fan, if I was a fan and I saw the promo schedule, honestly, my favorite thing would be Pack the Plex, because I love a building with good energy in it, right? Like,
Pack the Plex last year was insane.
I'm sure.
Again, most people now, the second most amount of people I've seen in that arena, most being the school day game that we had in March. That was,
yeah.
all the kids were insane.
Right. I might change my answer from Disney night to the school day game. I've heard so many great things about the school day game, and I am so excited for what we're gonna do this year.
The kids get into it. I for one am glad that season ticket holders do not have a ticket to that game.
It is going to be loud in that building.
It was rough last year. They moved us down into the Coca-Cola party deck, right? They put us down there. But getting off of work and just like going to work that morning with a jersey on, like all like hyped up, leaving, and my coworker's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "A hockey game." I'm like, "It's 9 o'clock in the morning." I'm like, "Exactly." What else do you want from me? But that was insane. But Pack the Plex and like just the discounted ticket rate, like any night where it's the discounted tickets and we can get more people in, it's always fun. We my company that I work for now bought a group of tickets last year. I think we bought like 50 tickets for Pack the Plex. And a handful of those people that I got to go to the game have transitioned into no season ticket holders yet, but
they're interested in the game now.
Regular people who go to these games and go see the Mayhem. You know, now I've got people who know that, you know, in the office, I'm the Mayhem guy. Right? You want to know about hockey? Come talk to me and I will talk your ear off. I've got my last year's season ticket holder flag. It's on my wall in my office, right? So when you walk in, the first thing you see is that flag, so you know you're in the right office.
And honestly, that's such a big reason why this job was so interesting to me before I got down here, was I have the chance to create these moments for fans. Like, let's just be honest, this isn't the biggest hockey market in the country.
Not at all.
And I'm coming from New York, where hockey is massive. So getting to create the moments for fans and turn them into hockey fans, not just make them Mayhem fans, but grow the game in an area where there was professional hockey at the point in time. People want professional hockey back in Georgia.
Fingers crossed, in a few years we get a team again.
Exactly. So, but being able to grow the game to people who still don't know this great game yet, and then have them get excited when professional hockey inevitably probably does come back to Georgia, like, that was such a cool opportunity that I couldn't pass up.
Talking about hockey coming back to Georgia, right? Especially at that NHL level.
NHL level, yeah.
Staying with Macon isn't going to be end all of your career, right? With your ability, it's the same thing. I talked to Graham about it, right? Ambitions, everybody wants to continue to grow.
Yeah.
Right? You think you'll stick around until Atlanta gets a team and then go hop up there? Or
I don't want to. Hey, listen, I mean, if Atlanta ever got a team, like, that would be an amazing opportunity if that ever came across. But right now, I'm solely focused on the Mayhem and creating the experiences here for everyone here in Macon, because listen, like you said, it's only been one game so far, but that was the most fun I think I've had in my entire career the other night. 2 week ago, I don't even know how long ago it was.
2 weeks now,
it's been a blur since then, but no, like, I'm solely focused on creating these moments right now for these fans, and amazing fan base, and everyone seemed to like the opening night stuff.
It was good. It was good.
I've seen a lot of great reviews, so I appreciate all the positive comments from everybody. But this thing's only going to get better. So that's my sole focus right now. As much as Atlanta would be cool, right here is my sole focus right now.
Chuck, Alex, if you're listening, that's the politically correct answer that he decided to.
That's not the that's just the correct answer. That's just the correct answer. That's not the politically correct answer. That's just the answer.
Okay. 2 more questions. We'll wrap it up right, before I get you in trouble with anything about this point. If you could swap roles for one night, right?
Yeah.
With anyone related to the Mayhem, right? Mascot, game day operations, down doing intermission games,
Okay.
PA, bill, tickets, Graham, coach, player. Who would it be, and why are you swapping with them?
See, there's 2, and I have different reasons for both of them, but I'm gonna go with Graham because kind of going back to the broadcasting thing I talked about earlier, like, so me and him actually called High Point hockey games together at a point in time for a little bit. And that's where I initially met Graham, and Graham is the reason why I'm down here now. He's the one who told me about this position even being open, but it's always been the passion of mine to call games. And I told Graham, I said, hey, listen, you ever need a color guy on the road, like, let's get back in the booth together. Like, I would love to call another game. I haven't done it in a bunch of years, so I'd love to call games. So I would say Graham. But at the same time, I played hockey growing up. I wouldn't mind throwing on the jersey in the past for a night.
Okay. All right. And then last question.
Yeah.
In a single word, how are you describing this year's team?
Exciting.
Okay.
Exciting. I think there's really good vibes in that locker room right now from everything that I've seen. And listen, every game so far of this season has been very competitive.
It has. That we have not been.
3 shootouts in 4 games is absurd.
My heart is upset.
Well, I'm used to that with the Islanders going to overtime like every single night. But no, from everything I've heard and everything I've seen so far, I think there's a lot of reason to be excited about this team. And just like with our stuff in the arena on a game-by-game basis, I'm very excited to see how this team grows and progresses throughout the season, too. I think it's going to be a very fun year for everybody in Macon.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, that is Danny Shay. All right. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for having me.
Maybe we get you back in here later this year. Who knows?
Let's go. Anytime you want.
But I appreciate you coming out, man.
100%. Thanks for having me.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I've been having a lot of fun doing these interviews with the team. Looking to possibly try to get a couple players on. Right now, with the ice being out in Macon, the guys practicing out in Columbus, it's going to be a little bit harder, but I'm going to try to work it out with Graham and the Mayhem team and the Mayhem staff to see if I can get interviews with some of these guys. My little rant for this week. I want to give a big shout out to the media team down in Pensacola. I reached out really last minute to try and get media credentials. And I'll be honest with you guys, I wasn't sure in the first place if I was going to get it, but if I did get it, I had no clue what I was going to do, right? I've got a really basic beginner camera, and I just like to have fun taking shots, right? So I brought my camera down, got the confirmation Friday after we were already down in town visiting Nicole's family that I was good to get a media credential once I got to the game. Went in there, got to meet him, had no issue getting my camera in without the media credential. Just kind of let him know that I was picking it up. Went, talked to Sean with the team, got my media credential. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Very high quality. I was able to snag some really cool photos of the guys in the tunnel as they came out each period. Got a little bit more during overtime, and then even some during shootouts. So again, I'm really a beginner in sports photography. I had experience doing car photography, like shooting at car meets and stuff like that when I lived in Pensacola, but I never got into sports photography. So getting this opportunity to be on the glass and in the tunnels is super unique. I already got some edited, already posting them up on the Facebook page. I hope you guys like what you saw. And, hopefully in the future, like, as we continue to go to Pensacola games throughout the year, my media pass is good for all year, so I plan on getting more photos. The Mayhem team has also given me media creds, so I'm hoping to do the same thing at our home games, get some photos, and just kind of, you know, give another perspective. At the end of the day, though, I'm balancing being a dad, a husband, a full time job, and being a content creator for you guys. So sometimes content may come out slower, and other days, like right now, I'm gladly staying up after Finn goes to bed to work on this because it's a it's passion for me. I love this. I never expected to have the support that I have from you guys, and it's just really fun to see and be able to do and hear all the feedback from you guys. All right. I'm going to get off my soapbox, and that's going to be it for this week's Southern Slapshot. If you laughed, learned something, spilled your tea mid rant, you're in the right place. Don't forget to follow the show, leave a review if you got the time, and share it with your crew at the rink or the cookout. Until next time, keep your edges sharp, your chirp sharper, and remember, around here, we're always slapping pucks and sipping tea. Thank you guys.